I number my days as recommended by the Holy Book, the Bible. Every day I remove 1 day from my lifespan. And I realize that I'm not getting any younger. I'll be 62 this year. And I'm not happy with the state of things in my country. And I've always recommended to the younger ones that if they must make any appreciable impact in politics, they must join mainstream political parties, especially if you have the ambition of contesting at the national level. You cannot win a national election from a fringe political party. That's my first theory. When I contested presidential election in 2011, that was the revelation that I got. And I've recommended it to so many people, and I'm not hypocritical in my life. I practice what I preach. And talking about my decision to go to PDP, it was obvious that APC has been a monumental failure, in my view. That's my personal view. Buhari, a lot of people would agree, has been less than fair to Nigeria. And he has not even been fair to his own people. I have a lot of Hausa Fulani friends who feel so disappointed, who believe that Buhari has turned them into endangered species because people hate them for no reason, just because Buhari has not been, one, a fair-minded leader and a competent leader. So people now think all Fulanis are the same. I don't agree. I have a lot of Fulani friends across the nation, and I know that they are intelligent, they are smart. Yes, you may have the Almajiris, you may have those who are not educated. If Buhari was a good leader, this would have been the best opportunity to educate those kids, but it doesn't seem to care about their well-being, and their politicians don't seem to care. They feel they will continue to use those kids to rig elections. You bring underage to come and vote. And so that is the reason why I have to go to PDP. So I have to be practical. There are only two main political parties at the national level in Nigeria, APC and PDP. If APC has failed, then why should I join a party of failure? So I decided to join PDP. Yeah, PDP also had its own issues in the past. But our job is to go into one of the parties and try to see how we can proliferate it with progressive-minded people and turn things around for our country. It's the same advice I've given to Kingsley Moghalu. He didn't take it. I gave the same advice to Donald Duke before the 2019 election. He joined SDP. He was hoping for a third force. I told him a third force will not fly. Even in the United States, where independent candidacy is allowed, Donald Trump was smart to know that he couldn't win with all his billions. He had to go into a particular political party, and that's why he joined the Republicans, and he was able to win. Chief M.K. Abiola was very smart to join the SDP in those days, and he worked very hard. Within 2 months, he became the flag bearer of the party. He was able to dislodge, the almighty Babagana Kingibe, who was chairman of the party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar, who was the godson of the Don himself, the Cardinal Mafia, Major General Shehu Musa Yaradua, retired now of blessed memory. So we are following in that tradition of doing things the proper way, the practical way. So nobody should be surprised. The only surprise is that I've always been in opposition, so I'm still in opposition. So it's nothing unusual. The other thing is that now I feel we cannot be on the sidelines. We can no longer afford to be on the sidelines. Because the excuse of the older generation is that you guys now, it's your fault now. If you don't make yourselves available, how can you blame us? You cannot say Atiku is old and then you don't give an alternative. So let's give them the alternatives and let them, if they like, reject the alternatives again. At least nobody will say there were no alternatives. That is why we have to field an 80-year-old man. So that's my mission in politics.
Since you joined the PDP up to now, what has been the situation? How has it been?
Oh, I've seen a lot of excitement. Number one, a lot of young guys who ordinarily would not show any interest in politics. They have been registering because I started campaigning and advertising that they should go to iampdp.com, and they have been doing that. A lot of people are registering for my party. Beyond that, a lot of people who were agitating for a breakup of the country, even my friends who are Biafrans, they've come down a bit. They say, oh, if people like you could be in government, maybe there will be hope for Nigeria. The reason why people are agitating is simple. Because there is no fair play, no justice, no equity. So you can't blame them. If people feel frustrated, they will go, they want to go away. Now, okay, if you don't want me, you don't want your wife, and you are insisting your wife cannot leave your house, then something must be wrong with you. So for me, I'm very happy that we are going to challenge the status quo. I'm not afraid to challenge the status quo. I've been in the system since 1982. A lot of the people who are there now, including governors, some of them were probably in secondary school or even primary school when some of us started life. I was a pioneer jambat in 1978. I witnessed the Ali Must Go in 1978. So you can imagine someone who was born in 1978. Recently, a 35-year-old man became president somewhere. By next year, June 12 will be 30 years. Alhaji Atiku Abubakar would have been contesting for 30 years by next year. So, and then yet, some people are still looking at the 61 going or 62-year-old man as a boy. I mean, to me, I feel insulted when I hear those things. I'm a global brand. I've worked all my life, to be a global citizen. But in Nigeria, unless you're a senator or you're a governor, nobody respects you. I've never seen a country where they do that. Yet they saw the example of MK Abiola, who was never a senator, was never a governor. They saw the example of Donald Trump, who was never a senator, was never a House member, was never, a governor, and yet he became the president of America. So Nigerians must learn the best traditions. We always copy the worst from other places. So here we are.
And how have you also handled your friends in the other party who must have felt disappointed at how?
I've never had any issue with anybody. Everybody remains my friend. I disagree with them vehemently on their own political philosophy. It's a matter of philosophy. It's nothing personal. For example, some people ask me, oh, so does it mean you're not going to support Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu? I said, we are friends. We will remain friends. But I disagree with him. We're not in the same party. Fortunately, he's in APC and in PDP. If he sits here, I will repeat. He knows me anyway, that I say my mind. It's nothing personal. Today, if anything touches him, I'll be one of the first to stand up and rise to his defense. But we're not in the same political party. And that's how it should be. Father and son can be in different parties. When I supported Chief Abiola, I wasn't a member of SDP. When I supported Chief Olufalaye, I wasn't a member of AP. When I supported Buhari, I wasn't a member of APC. When I supported Atiku, I wasn't a member of PDP. I've always supported people strictly on principle. So it's the same principle I'm following now. Professor Yemi Osinbajo, the vice president, I hold him in the highest esteem. He's qualified to be president of Nigeria. Brilliant, cerebral, everything, But I cannot imagine that all of them are in APC and Buhari continued that rascality. I can't believe it. So it's something I will say anywhere. I can't defend it. Their brothers and sisters were being massacred. They were being raped. They were being kidnapped. They said nothing. They did nothing. As far as I'm concerned, that is my grounds against them. And that's why I went against them and went into the opposite party. When the vice president saw me about 2 weeks ago at a function, he said, Dele, you've moved to the other side. I said, I didn't move anywhere because I wasn't anywhere in the first instance. And they just joined the party because Buhari has not given me an option. I said it openly. We can't, all of us can't be funerally silent the way we are. We can't continue this way. I want a country where my children will not feel like second-class citizens. I want a country where I myself will feel proud that, yes, I've worked very hard to become who I am, and I can live in peace.
meeting with Mr. President. And I remember at that time, after your meeting, you wrote about your encounter with him and all that. Did you actually feel at that time that he would not change? Because I know you said a few things about the possibility of...
Well, I saw the red flags. You remember, he didn't just invite me. It was because I wrote him a memo, an open memo, that, hey, things are going wrong. By then, he had not even picked his cabinet. But I saw the early signs that, hey, we are threading on a very dangerous path. And I wrote to him, and he was gracious enough, he invited me. Again, what I noticed was that his personal staff did not attend our meeting. I expected that such a meeting, he would bring in his personal aides, because by then he had appointed some of them. And I could see fear written all over them. You know, but someone asked me that I should please help them tell Baba everything. You know, even I saw ministers who later asked me that, what did you tell him? We saw that he was very comfortable with you. He was like, there is nowhere, in all honesty, there is no way I've met President Buhari before and after he became president that he didn't treat me nicely. So sometimes I wonder if he is the one who is actually running things, or some people are governing by proxy. You know, because when you meet him, he's a totally different person. I'm telling you. And I've met him. The last time I saw him was 2017 when I accompanied the former president of Ghana, John Dramani Mahama, to the State House, you know, in one evening. And the president was even cracking jokes. Dele, it seems you've added weight. We crack jokes. But the Buhari persona that we see is different from the Buhari that you meet. You know? So, I don't know what went wrong. They said there are some demons in Aso Rock, maybe. Some demons hijacked him, you know. I mean, look at what happened in Lagos yesterday in Magodo with the governor of Lagos State. I mean, what nonsense. There is no country in the world where a common police officer will stand in front of the governor of the state and practically insult him and send him back to his superior officer in Abuja. And we say we practice federalism. So these are the reasons why some of us are saying, no, we must rededicate our lives. Life cannot be about just making money, doing business and all that. We must rededicate our lives to changing Nigeria for the better.
What would you call the problem or things that are wrong with Nigeria? Because as it is now, everything looks convoluted and all that, and perhaps you would have a clearer perspective of what are the real issues.
Well, let me be very honest with you. I'm a very objective person. Nigeria is not synonymous with problems or challenges. Every country in the world, even the best of countries, have their own challenges. And people, their citizens, still complain. But the problem of Nigeria for me, number one today, is the lack of unity. You cannot have progress if there is no unity. And Buhari has not made any effort to unite Nigerians. Buhari does not pretend to be a sectional leader. I don't care if he doesn't know about the economy. A president is not expected to know everything. That's why he has a team. Even in your office, you have a man who is doing YouTube, you have a man who is taking pictures. That's your team. You can't do it all. You know? And I heard you when you were asking and people something else. So you ask. That's why you employed people. So I don't expect Buhari to go and tar Lagos Ibadan road. But I expect him to leave Abuja to come and supervise. I've been working in Port Harcourt in the past 1 year with Governor Wike. And I could see clearly that the reason he is successful is because the man is hands-on. He understands the game. He treats governance like you would treat your own personal business. The problem with Nigeria is that most of our leaders have never managed people or resources. They just rose through the ranks. If you are a soldier, you rose through the ranks in the army. If you are a customs officer, you rose through the ranks in the customs and excise. If you are a police officer, you rose through the ranks in the police. If you are this, if you are that. So, until you manage your own money, you will never understand the importance of money and how difficult it is to make money and how stupid it is to fritter it away. When we started Ovation, we needed £150,000 in 1995. We were able to raise just about 20. And we turned that £20,000 into a multi-million naira empire, multi-billion naira empire, if we were to use the naira terms, from that little seed of £20,000. So it tells you that if you give me a country today, I will know how to micromanage. A country as poor and as impoverished as Nigeria cannot afford to practice hardcore capitalism. You cannot practice capitalism without capital. We want to run an American-style government without having the resources of America, without having the infrastructure of America. So that is one of the problems that we have. I believe that our leaders are too selfish, they are egocentric, and very greedy. Because how much can you spend in your life? As I said, I'm already almost 62. At 62, I feel cool, I feel okay. I have good health. For me, that is the biggest wealth in life. So, of course, I'll bore you by telling you that Nigeria is like a ghost town. Most of our cities are ugly because of lack of infrastructure. Everybody knows about the lack of electricity, constant, despite the trillions that we've poured into it. And I know, so I don't like to talk about our problems. I like to talk solution, because I've interacted with global leaders, including presidents in even African countries. I know that these things are not impossible to fix. In Ghana, there was a period when their electricity collapsed. They called it Dumsor, D-U-M-S-O-R, Dumsor, because light was going. The first thing they did was to map their country into Zone A and Zone B. So they give light to Zone A 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. and then give light to Zone B 6 p.m. to 6. Oh, you can plan. So if you know there will be light in your house, so you'll be at home. If you know there will be light in your office, then you'll be in the office. Then you can plan. That's number one. Number two, they made sure that they invested in all manner of energy. Yes, from bringing in badges. They brought in badges to supply electricity. They brought in solar energy. They did wind. They did everything. And in 18 months, President Mahama was able to inject 824 megawatts of power into their national grid. He was able to work on their transmission. He was able to work on generation and transmission. Because even in Nigeria, if you're able to generate electricity, there is no way of transmitting it. So these are issues. And I'm aware that there was even a foreign president that wanted to help Nigeria. After one meeting, everything collapsed. I was involved in it. So I have the requisite knowledge about what is to be done about our country. And I'm hoping that I will have an opportunity in whatever capacity to be able to contribute to that.
Some say that you're interested in the presidency. Is that true?
Because I contested before in 2011, so I'm not surprised. And I've been under pressure. A lot of people have been talking to me. And I'm not the type that will contest for presidency, then go and contest for governorship, then go and contest for senator. No, I'm not a cheap rat like that. Some people don't mind. The only reason I wanted to be president was to have executive power, because without executive power, you can't change anything. If you are a senator, you are a drop in the ocean. Yeah, and you can even see the way Buhari is treating the National Assembly. It's like an appendage of the executive, which should not be the case. Even the judiciary is not respected in Nigeria. So I think Nigeria deserves a breath of fresh air. As I said, it will be 30 years of June 12 next year. So by the time we're celebrating June 12 next year, we should have a leader who is fresh and refreshing. We should have a leader who is cosmopolitan, a leader who can stand in front of any leader in the world that will be respected, not one of those that we manage. What we have in Nigeria are seat warmers. We just manage them 4 years, 8 years, wasted. We've wasted 30 years since June 12. Next year, we should look for the Abiola template and revalidate it. That's the way forward. It's very simple. Farewell to poverty. There's too much poverty in the land. So Abiola's message was farewell to poverty. So let's get a fresh leader who has not been tainted by power. It's a mission that we must achieve.